Hare Krishna, devotees. Anybody logged in? Oh, so many people. Hare Krishna, welcome to the Srimad Bhagavatam class this morning. I'll just quickly chant Jai Radha Madhava, couple of minutes, and then we'll go ahead. Jai Radha Madhava, Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava, Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janavallabha, Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha, Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava, Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava, Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Shama Sundar, Radha Shama Sundar Radhe. Jaya Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Radha Sham Sundar ki, Radha Madhav ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskruthya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayat Nasta Prayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nastaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha. Hare Krishna. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Thank you. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 6, and verse number 21 and 22. Hantasmin janmani bhavan mam drastum iharhati avipakva kashayanam durdarsho ham kuyoginam. Again. Hantasmin janmani bhavan mamam drastum iharhati avipakva kashayanam durdarshoham kuyoginam. Word to word translation. Hanta, O Narada, asmin, this, janmani, duration of life, bhavan, yourself, ma, not, mam, me, drastum, to see, iha, here, arhati, deserve, avipakva, immature, Kashayana, material dirt. Darshaha, difficult to be seen. Aham, I. Kuyoginam, incomplete in service. Translation. O Narada, the Lord spoke, I regret that during this lifetime, you will not be able to see me anymore. Those who are incomplete in service and who are not completely free from all material taints can hardly see me. Purport. The personality of Godhead is described in the Bhagavad Gita as the most pure, supreme, and absolute truth. There is no trace of a tinge of materiality in his person. And thus, one who has the slightest tinge of material affection cannot approach him. The beginning of devotional service starts from the point when one is freed from at least two forms of material modes, namely the mode of passion and the mode of ignorance. The result is exhibited by the signs of being freed from kama, lust, and lobha, covetousness. That is to say, one must be freed from the desires for sense satisfaction and avarice for sense gratification. The balanced mode of a nature is goodness, and to completely freed from all material tinges is to become free from the mode of goodness. Also, to search the audience of God in a lonely forest is considered to be in the mode of goodness. One can go out into the forest to attain spiritual perfection, but that does not mean that one can see the Lord personally there. One must be completely freed from all material attachment and be situated on the plane of transcendence, which alone will help the devotee get in personal touch with the personality of Godhead. The best method is that one should live at a place where the transcendental form of the Lord is worshipped. The temple of the Lord is a transcendental place, whereas the forest is a materially good habitation. A neophyte devotee is always recommended to worship the deity of the Lord, Archana, rather than going into the forest to search out the Lord. Devotion service begins from the process of Archana, which is better than going out in the forest. In his present life, which is completely freed from all material hankerings, Sri Narada Muni does not go into the forest, although he can turn every place into Vaikuntha by his presence only. He travels from one planet to another to convert men, gods, kinnaras, Gandharvas, Rishis, Munis, and all others to become devotees of the Lord. By his activities, he has engaged many devotees like Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, and many others in the transcendental service of the Lord. A pure devotee of the Lord, therefore, follows in the footsteps of the great devotees like Narada and Prahlad and engages his whole time in glorifying the Lord by the process of Kirtana. Such a preaching process is transcendental to all material qualities. Based on the Prabhu's just told me that even 22 is covered. I'll just quickly go through. 22. Sakrudya darshitam rupam etat kamayate naga mat kama shankai sadhu sarvan munchati hruchayan. Translation. O virtuous one, you have only once seen my person, and that this is just to increase your desire for me, because the more you hanker for me, the more you will be freed from all material desires. Purport. A living being cannot be vacant of desires. He is not a dead stone. He must be working, thinking, feeling, and willing. But when he thinks, feels and wills materially, he becomes entangled. And conversely, when he thinks, feels, and wills for the service of the Lord, he becomes gradually freed from all entanglement. The more a person is engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord, the more he acquires a hankering for it. This is the transcendental nature of the godly service. Material service has satiation, whereas spiritual service of the Lord has neither satiation nor end. One can go on increasing his anchorings for the loving transcendental service of the Lord, and yet he will not find satiation for or end. By intense service of the Lord, one can experience the presence of the Lord transcendentally. Therefore, seeing the Lord means being engaged in his service, because his service and his person are identical. The sincere devotee should go on with sincere service of the Lord. The Lord will give proper direction as to how and where it has to be done. There was no material desire in Narada, and yet, just to increase his intense desire for the Lord, he was so advised. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kathamayam Tadati Smapadantikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vancha Kalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patita Nama Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Grim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Again, today, auspicious day, as I keep on saying sometimes, today is an auspicious day for me, and it will be auspicious for everyone. Why? Because we started our day with the Srimad Bhagavatam. And thank you for giving me an opportunity. I have no qualification. Again and again, I want to repeat this. Because of the mercy of the devotees, I am getting some service. And moreover, if I want to speak something, I need blessings of all the devotees. So I sincerely seek blessings of all the Vaishnavas who have assembled, and who are in the Zoom call assembly. And so please bless me so that I can speak something for my purification and pleasing the lordships. This was the 21. Actually, there are two things which we need to understand, that this is an experience. Narada is actually giving his experience to Vyasadeva. All these verses, he's sharing his experience. So first of all, I can think about what is preaching. Preaching means sharing your experience. We definitely refer to the Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra for our for knowledge, to understand the right things, to present the right things. But the preaching normally is sharing your experience. Narada is actually sharing the experience with Vyasadeva, and he is getting inspired. So whenever we think, we come to ISKCON, the first thing we'll share some experiences of what we did and what happened to us. So, and the other person gets inspired. That's my experience too. So here, Narada Muni is telling that that Lord appeared in his heart, but he then suddenly disappeared. But based on the yesterday's verse of Badahari Prabhu's amazing, excellent explanation by his purity, that Lord was manifesting as a sound vibration, of course, and then he was talking to him, talking to Narada Muni from his heart. And he's telling that, Lord is telling, I regret that during this lifetime will not be able to see me anymore. And those who are incomplete in service and who are not completely free from all material taints can hardly see me. I was perturbed when I read this second sentence. Narada Muni has previous verses, we can see he has almost come to the stage of prema, and he is able to see the Lord not face to face, but in the heart. And now he's telling, you're not able to see anymore because you have, he says, those who are incomplete in service and who are not completely free from material taints can hardly see me. So what I can understand first of all is, oh, Narada Muni has material desires in his heart. How can this be possible? I started contemplating and then finally took the Vaishnava's blessings, in the sense references from senior Vaishnavas, and I was able to understand a few things. First of all, Krishna says that, and Bhagavad Gita says, in saying that Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth, is most pure. And the person who has a little material affection and desires cannot approach him that's easily. So there are, I was thinking in this verse, and this particular verse is telling translation, and the next verse is telling, Prabhupada, the next verse is talking about, in the last paragraph of 22, Prabhupada gives the meaning and understanding. There was no material design in Narada, and yet just to increase his intense desire for the Lord, he was so advised. So basically, when we have feelings of separation, we intensely pray again, I want to see that, I want to see that. So our prayers, our practice is in the feeling of separation. And that's what Lord Chaitanya is teaching us. All the gopis, they always praying Krishna in the feeling of separation. And that's very confidential and highest. And that is not easy or ordinary for us to understand. And Lord Chaitanya is also teaching us the same thing, the feeling of separation. And from these two verses, I can understand that Lord can show something, but he'll disappear. But why? But because we want that hankering for that, more and more hankering. And the next verse 22, he says, the more and more hankering, all our material affections will go away. That's why we need to hanker more for Krishna. And so Lord was basically testing Narada Muni. How strong are you? Because he's already in the prema stage. But again, he disappeared. Why is it so? So the previous senior Vaishnavas, by the understanding what I want to share, that one is to increase the hankering, and the another one is to increase the humility of Narada, and then taste the intensified humility of Narada Muni. There are two things, right? Humility and intensified humility of Narada Muni. This is the just what I understood from senior Vaishnavas. So I want to talk a little bit of that, what is humility means. For that, I'm thinking about a pastime of Prataparudra and Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya did not give the mercy directly, immediately, to when Prataparudra Maharaj was seeking for blessings, seeking for mercy from Lord Chaitanya. He did not give him directly in the sense easily. So what happened initially, he was aspiring, he was asking for it, but he had one qualification. What's that qualification? Material, he was a king. Materially, he was so strong, etc. But Lord Chaitanya was not looking for his qualification materially. So, in spite of his repeated begging, he first sent him a cloth through his son. And then he prepared his consciousness. And finally, by the instructions of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Prataparudra Maharaj went in a Vaishnava dress and he swept the floor when Jagannath cart was on his way. So that means from the materially, so many qualifications, materially he is very strong as a king. But what made him get the mercy is to take the role of a sadhu, dasa. So if you become a dasa, servant, that actually pleases the Lord. So why? Because how do I get the drops of mercy? It's not easy. The people who practices karma, what happens is it will boost the false ego, because whatever we achieved from that karma, our false ego gets boosted. First, people who are in practice of jnana, they get their boost of false ego because of their gaining knowledge. The yoga practitioners, they are boosting their ego because of their perfections. But for a bhakti yogi, all of us, it is actually not boosting the false ego, but actually challenges to crush our false ego. It's not easy crushing our false ego. Because what is a crushing of false ego is becoming a dasa. Not just dasa, anudasa. So when we crush our false ego, that is what dissolves. When you become dasa, that dissolves the false ego. And then we are eligible to get the drops of mercy of the Lordships. So this is exactly what happened in the pastime of Pratap Rudra Maharaj, and Lord Chaitanya gave him the mercy. So another thing is Vaishnava's Seva. I was in our Friday meetings, I was thinking about presentations of Alvars. So I had spoken and prepared, and we had a wonderful discussion of Tirumangai Alvar. And Tirumangai Alvar was also directed by his wife to initially to serve 1,000 Vaishnavas and feed them every day for 1 year. So I was thinking, why is this wife telling him like that? Because becoming a seva, no, doing seva to others is not easy, because you're crushing false ego. It's a challenge. And because Tirumangai Alvar had a desire to marry that girl who descended from the higher planetary systems, he was very much attracted. And so what he said is, yes, I agree, whatever you say. So he started serving Vaishnavas, 1,000 Vaishnavas every day. And the beauty is, when we please Vaishnavas, we get blessings. And because of the blessings of the Vaishnava, our heart is so hard. In the spring, now everybody is actually in their backyards, front yards. After the winter, all our soil, the mud, it has become hard. And now what we do is we till it so that it will become soft, and then make it fertile, so that when we sow the seed, it sprouts quickly, and the creepers or the plant will grow and gives us the fruit. Similarly, our heart is very hard. In order to soften the heart, the soil of the heart especially, what we need to do, we need to do the seva so that our heart becomes softer. And in the soil in the heart will become fertile by serving, and no tilling is required anymore. So when there is no tilling is required, in what happens when a spiritual master sows the seed of bhakti, it will immediately sprout and then starts growing all the way to the giving us the fruits of prema. So that is what we need to understand. How do we get there? How do we get that fertile, make that heart fertile, so that the seed can be grown quickly? It is the magic and miracle of Shravanam and Kirtanam. So that's why we do Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Every day when we hear Srimad Bhagavatam, what does really do? Shravanam, what does Shravanam do? Shravanam, we are hearing about the great souls and how did they practice bhakti, and we try to follow their footsteps. In that way, we can also practice. That is the Kirtanam. And what is Kirtana again? Kirtanam is aspiring to serve the Lord. That means aspiring to serve the devotees of the Lord. And also praying Krishna, saying, please engage me in your service. We're asking, please engage me in your service. And Krishna gives us some service to serve the Vaishnavas. We don't directly get, oh, please come. The deity services are open for you. Come and do it. Krishna doesn't give it that directly. There is a process we follow. Initiation, and then the Brahmin initiation. After even coming to an initiation also, there is a process. We won't get initiation immediately. There is a lot of making our heart fertile by chanting Hare Krishna 16 rounds, following the regulative principles for several years, people waiting in the line queue for many years to even get initiated. And that's because it's not easy. And there should be a recommendation from the temple president to see how this person is doing. And then see, it's even getting initiation from a spiritual master is also not easy. We need recommendations. We need Vaishnava Seva. And then only people can say, yes, he is kind of eligible for this. So you should be able to proceed. So we should understand that part. And so practicing again means sharing the experiences of practicing, and preaching is basically sharing the experiences of bhakti. So there are 4 things to understand how to become even dasa. How is, number 1, affection for one's master, spiritual master, which is Snigdha. The second one is Pandit. Pandit means intelligence on how to serve. And number 3 is becoming a sadhu. What is sadhu? Sadhu means self-control and change of our behavior and sense control. Change of behavior in the sense control and self-control, right? And then in that way, we're eligible for serving the lordships and getting mercy. Once we always think that I am in Vrindavan, I'm in a nice place. I'm enjoying the experiences in Vrindavan. I don't want to do anything. I'll just stay in Vrindavan. Prabhupada was in Vrindavan, in Damodar temple, very happy, serving the lordships. What else you want in life? Sometimes I feel, what else you want in life? Just go back to Vrindavan. Go to Vrindavan, stay there. You don't need all this. But Prabhupada, guess what? Prabhupada came out of Vrindavan, and then he came to West, and he took so many challenges to serve the Lord by serving the devotees and preaching, etc. So one of his disciples were actually in Vrindavan, and Prabhupada spoke to him, how are you doing? He said, I'm enjoying services here. I'm enjoying the experience in Vrindavan. Then Prabhupada said, okay, now you go to Sri Lanka and preach. And that person said, Sri Lanka, it's a very small country. Then Prabhupada said, okay, then go to Pakistan. And he said, no, okay, Sri Lanka is better than Pakistan. I'll go to Sri Lanka. And then he agreed and went to Sri Lanka and established, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and by empowerment, he was able to establish and start a movement there. So we need to understand that nothing is easy. That doesn't come everything easy, as we say. So that is why we need to understand that Shravanam and Kirtanam is very, very important. Without Kirtanam, that means without services, we cannot serve the Lord, right? Because we don't have that eligibility, qualification. Even now, our temple president is giving us, all the initiated devotees a chance to do Archana. Why? Because with this, in spite of all these practices, what we have done, our temple president, with her mercy, she is giving her mercy to us in such way that we are eligible to even serve the deity's form. deity forms, our Lord Archa Vigraha in the temple, in the center. Why? I always think about Dhananjay Pandit Prabhu and myself. What time I wake up, what time he wakes up. What time, sometimes I'm really scared. Sometimes he said, hey, come and do the services. Oh my God, how do I control my bathroom going? Early morning from 2:30 all the way early. One day if I do services, I have challenges. Going to the Mangalarti, going to this service, come back soon. And then, oh, I am relieved. That means it's a nice service there, but I have kind of, okay, I have done so much service. And then I had to take rest. And now, see, our Dhananjay Pandit Prabhu tirelessly doing this service past many years. So what does that mean? We are adjusting in our own life. We have our own life, but now we are trying to adjust our life in such a way that we are working on Krishna's time, not our time. That means the deity worship time. At this particular time, wake up, do this arati, do this bhoga, do this, do this, do this, do this. So many do's. So very strict. It's like actually streamlining ours. And it is personal seva as well. So Shravanam, Kirtanam, and Archanam. And that's what Prabhupada is also describing in the purport, that Archanam, deity worship. Why? He is actually giving us that teaching us that regulation. Without regulation, I don't think we can achieve anything, especially our spiritual life. So it's very important to be in the association of devotees. In that way, we can learn how to serve the lordships. And other aspect of this purport is Prabhupada is describing the beginning of devotion service starts from the point where one is freed from at least 2 forms of material modes. This is another interesting part. What is it? Freed from kama and lobha. As long as we have these modes of passion and ignorance, there is no way we can understand God. A person in passion is always making plans, He doesn't have control. He just makes plan. And the person in ignorance, he's sleepy mode. So how do we get this? How do we reduce these two mode of passion, mode of ignorance? Is by Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. When we do a Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, then that is the one for our qualification. Slowly, by this mode of passion and ignorance, we are getting kama and lobha, greedy, and so many other things. So how do we reduce this? Nasta prayeshu badreshu nityam bhagavate sevaya. And then ahetuki suprasidati. Suprasidati means we are, it will be all these 2 things will go away and will become peaceful. So first of all, if you have so much disturbance in your mind, making so much plans, where is the peace? There is no way we can understand how to get the peace. If you're peaceful, then thoughts will come. And then we can think about, lordships. We can understand the lordships. And even think about doing more devotion service, more understanding, more chanting. Otherwise, it's very difficult. That's what we do even in chanting. A few days ago, I asked a question to Bhadari Prabhu. When I am chanting, Prabhu, my my mind is going towards bank balance, because we are actually in the mode of passion, even during this time of chanting also mode of passion. So we need to see, that means where I can measure myself. Why am I getting all this? Because I'm making plans, I'm in the mode of passion. I have to listen to Krishna's katha every day, more and more and more and more. In that way, I can purify those two, and then those two modes. When that mode goes away, then the mode of sattva will arise. Actually, the mode of sattva is covered, because these two are taking priorities right in our lives. How do we reduce that? Is by Krishna Katha and chanting. Once we do this, we should be able to promote ourselves to a Sattva Guna. And not just Sattva Guna, Prabhupada explains, even you should transcend, it says, to completely freed from all material things, to become free from even the mode of goodness also. So how do we get there? Is the Shuddha Sattva. The person who has come to the Shuddha Sattva, he can even see the Lord face to face. That's what it explains. Shastras explain, coming to the stage of Shuddha Sattva, you can see Krishna face to face. But how do we get there? It is the same practice. And on the top of it, what is that we have? We are practicing, everything is nice. Think about a cart, a bullock cart, and the a cart and the horse. Horse is actually supposed to pull the cart. But we have so many plans, management plans, these plans, that plans, and now we are constructing the temple. The management is planning so many things. We will do this in certain years. We will do the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Everything is great. We'll do it. We don't have money, but still we are going to do it. We'll take the loans, no matter what. Do this. We'll go ahead. Why? Because we have faith. Horse is the faith. If you don't have faith, how do you even move forward? The cart will be right there. It will not move. Horse is the one which will make us move the cart. In that way, we need to understand faith is most important in our spiritual practices. If you don't have faith, there is no way. We'll be just making plans. Oh, when do I do this? When do I do this? It's not going to happen. So destroying our, it's like, how do you see this passion and ignorance? It is showing us in the form of kama and lobha. We can see the electricity, but what is the can we see the electricity? No, we cannot see the electricity, but its effects of electricity we can see. We can light the bulb, we can do this, we can do that. In that way, this kama and lobha is the effects of those two. So this kama and lobha will go away, but in the root, still it might come back. Today it might go away, but it might come back again, because the root of mode of passion, mode of ignorance is still there. How do I get there? Nothing, the same thing. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, Nityam chanting. Then these two will also go away, and even the root is also goes away. It is not like one day process. It is a process of years. Some people takes years, some people take a lifetime. And so it is like that person who has already crossed over to the mode of goodness. He is dead in that, he's done with his life, that life is done, and he takes the next life. And for him, next life is very easy for him to chant. How? Because already practiced everything, and he has already come to the mode of goodness. It's like that. So we need to understand that coming to the mode of goodness, at least, that is why, even though we don't have that mode of, the consciousness of mode of goodness, we try to practice, because the material modes is acting at this particular time. It is goodness morning, early morning, Brahma Muhurta, to a certain time is goodness, after that passion, after that ignorance. So at least we adjust ourselves for that timing, so that if you think about all of us, if you we know we chant in the morning, it will be very peaceful. And the chanting is so nice. If you hear Bhagavata Katha early morning, it is so peaceful. Everything goes to the heart. If you do the same chanting in the afternoon, there is a lot of plans, because that is mode of ignorance, mode of passions. It's actually bombarding us and it is disturbing us. So how do we make this consciousness stronger and get that into the mode of goodness is important by Nityam. What is Nityam? It's the Anudinam. Actually, Upadeshamrita, Rupa Goswami explains Adarat and Anudinam. How? Anudinam means Nityam, every day, not once in a week, not once in a month, every day. And Adarat means with respect. If we serve Srimad Bhagavatam, what is serving? Reading, studying, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya with respect, and chant the holy name with respect, then even the roots also of this passion and ignorance will go away. So that's why he's telling, Prabhupada is telling very clearly, step by step, what do we need to do? What do we need to do? And think about, after all this achievement, Narada Muni has come to a stage of Shuddha Sattva, not just seeing. Whenever he wants to see, he can see. He says, it says that Narada Muni can travel anywhere. In the next moment, he can be in Vaikuntha. Next moment, he can be in planet Earth. He can go to any planets, Kinnaras, Gandharvas, Rishis, Munis. He can travel anywhere in the universe. What an amazing Narada Muni's, Krishna's mercy. How much ever you endeavor, even we may not get it. But by Krishna's mercy, you will get it. Krishna wants to give us, he will give us. But we need to do our endeavor, do our best, and leave it to Krishna. Have patience, and then just keep practicing. Once we have that in place, Krishna knows when to give you, when to give us. And so what we need to do, the last sentence, Prabhupada says, a pure devotee of the Lord therefore follows in the footsteps of great devotees like Narada, like Prahalad, and engages his whole time in glorifying the Lord by process of Kirtana. Once one of the heard that Dhirdhan Maharaj was telling, he was traveling with Prabhupada. Prabhupada was in train. He was looking at everyone talking, but he was chanting Chintamani Prakarasad Moshukalpa Vriksha. Indradhan Maharaj, what? He is chanting Brahma Samhita. While going in the train, while even boarding, he was also always in the Kirtan. See, the pure devotees, they're always following the footsteps of previous acharyas like Narada and Prahalad. Always in the process glorifying the Lord. So if we also follow the footsteps of our acharyas, our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, and our acharyas, we will also get there. That is our hope. We can do our practice and leave it to Krishna. Krishna can take care of us if he wants to give us. Yeah, it's there. Ye yathamam prapadyante tamstadaiva bhajamiham. But how much ever you endeavor, you practice, Krishna is reciprocative accordingly. The moment, how much you surrender, Krishna will reciprocate accordingly. So it is all depending on us, how much I want to do, how much I can do, how much I'm based on my capacity, how much you can do, Capacity wise, the devotional service is same. Whether it is a spider or in Ramayana, you can see Anjaney, Hanuman, or a spider, or some people say spider, some people say squirrel. Both are doing the same seva, but based on their capacities. So we should do our seva based on our capacities, how much ever it's possible, and leave it to Krishna. Then Krishna can reciprocate, give us the right thing. Whenever he wants to, he can give us. And so, but we need to understand that Narada Muni had no desire. It's is just the other way of our, we need to understand that Narada Muni has no material desire, but we should take it as positively. That is most important, and how this happened. I think I'll stop here and open for the discussion, comments, questions. Please forgive me if I have done something wrong, spoken something wrong. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
Please
Krishna.
please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Premananda. A very, very well thought out class, and thank you so very much. Just a very short comment. I was hearing very carefully and listened, appreciated everything that you said. I was thinking that this whole process of devotional service, it requires so much of care and attention, and the time in which we are living, the way things are with the social media and the way our lives are these days. You know, everybody has this social life on social media, and there is so much distraction. And I'm thinking about the community. You know, I don't have, as you know, I'm not on Facebook or anything. The only thing that I see is WhatsApp, and that itself is pretty much gives me the distraction that is going on in there. And I cannot even imagine what goes on Facebook. And that itself kind of tells, you know, what is going on in people's life, and what does it take for taking one deeper into going anywhere in deeper into spiritual life. It is like deeper in spiritual life means like you boil the milk and you boil the milk and you boil the milk. It's condensing and condensing, and that's what we hear. And you cannot be like, you know, you cannot burn the fire and you pour the water on top of it. You burn the fire and you pour the water, then you can never burn the fire. You know, it doesn't serve the purpose. And so, you know, even though everything that you said 100% true, but you know, you burn the fire and you pour the water, then it doesn't go anywhere. And so I think that is exactly what happens with what is happening, you know, in every single thing that we see. There is like everybody's mental energy, you can see that is coming from all directions in thought processes, you know, negative energies coming from all directions. Unless one is on guard, so much is happening. Every single moment you are getting bombarded. So many people, so many different things are getting thrown at you. It is not about Krishna. It is about, even in the name of devotional service, watch this, watch that. You know, it's attention grabbing. Like, you know, you do this, or you watch that one, or you watch this one, or you got to do this. And it is even within the devotional lifestyle, you know. So there is so much going on. And where is the meditation on Krishna? And where is the deeper devotional life? You know, so with everything that is being taught, unless one is on the guard of that, when we talk about Chetodarpanamarjanam, what Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is talking about, Chitta Vritti and all those things that we hear about. To do that, it requires really pinpointed attention, that requires really, thoughtfulness. What you spoke today is really very thoughtful, very thoughtful lecture, and it requires really, deep thinking. And I really appreciated your class, and that's all what I have to say. And I think if every devotee is thoughtful, there will be definitely Krishna's reciprocation. And devotional life is a thoughtful life, and it is not about external show of anything. It is an internal spiritual life, and it is not for show. It is not to show it to anybody else out there. It's not about wearing a cloth like a dhoti kurta or some external showing of something out there. Like, here, I am a devotee, here, look at me. Not about that at all. It's internally what you are able to do, creating that space for yourself. That day, Krishna Nandini Mataji, when she was speaking, I was like, what a lady she is. My goodness.
With that smile, with that smile.
Oh, that's a devotee, her I mean, I was like, I have one child in my life. I was so scared to have one. I mean, it took me 40 years to have one child. I thought and thought and thought.
Oh my God.
Whether to get married and to have one child. And, it was like my capacity, whether to have one child in my life, how do I bring up one child in devotional consciousness? And I was like, okay, every human being should think carefully what you can do and what you can undertake. And of course, every human being should know what one's capacity is. But here is a woman, I don't know how many children they had, 13 children, surrounded by 13 devotees.
One after the other introduction, I was like amazed.
13 devotee children or something surrounded by, and all of them love her with all their heart. And here is like a woman filled with love, and she could bring them up, and she's still full of energy, and she has so much capacity to give. And I'm not saying that we all have that, but here is a woman full of love, and you can clearly see. I mean, I'm not saying that everybody has that, or I mean, she counseled so many people, and she's full of love, and you can see that. I mean, everybody's capacity is different, but still there is something each as human being has got a certain potential for full expression for that love of Godhead, and that is something internally everyone has to explore. And that's not something that exploration is something which one has to dive very deep. It's not that an exhibition of something externally to do, but in the present day environment in which we are living, with this social media stuff that is going on out there, it requires a lot of thoughtfulness, a lot of shutting down these noises around you, to be able to pursue that. And otherwise it is not possible. It is not at all possible to do that. And I think I should shut up. I'm thank you.
Thank you very much for your blessings. I can just share a few seconds. Honestly, I don't know, because of the lockdown, because of presence of Rompad Maharaj, I was, no matter what, I was hearing morning and evening. Maybe some few days I missed it. Just by hearing from Maharaj every day, I developed a taste. And normally when I give a class, I hear from here and there. But now my classes, even for preparation, I am experiencing myself that it is so steady, it's going to my heart. Once if I read, wow, I'm feeling that. So I feel it is just because Maharaj's presence. And I'm really grateful to Maharaj coming here. And then Nityam Bhagavata Sevya is actually, I understood what does that mean, Nityam Bhagavata Sevya. Now even though I give a class, even though I give all this explanation, I'm experiencing that real, what does that mean? So anyway, thank you so much, Mataji. Haribol, anybody else? I know it is 8:03, but it is Sunday. It is okay if it is okay, I can listen from others.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. First of all, thank you for doing the class. I know it was my turn to do it, but I was feeling overwhelmed. So I reached out to Lingaraja Prabhu, and thank you for agreeing to do it. And I'm so glad you did it instead of me, because I totally agree. Like what Mataji said, it was such a wonderful class. I felt I took like these long notes, and each one I feel like I want to ask you something to go deeper into it. But just keeping the time factor in mind, I want to understand this one thing about coming to this mode of goodness. I feel like my personality is very much in like mode of passion and ignorance. That's just the way, I feel like I am. That's my nature. And then to add to what Premananda Mataji is saying, that there's so many distractions, even, not just social media, but work and kids and whatnot. So this, from what I'm understanding from your lecture, is that it's important to come to mode of goodness. And then even the next step is to transcend that. And then you said to do that, one requires faith, having a faith in the process. And then the second point you said, this Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya and Nityam chanting. So if you can comment on how to come to this even mode of goodness, because I feel like this tendency of passion and ignorance is so deep rooted that I feel like I'm not even going to that step. How will I go to the next?
So in devotional practices, Mataji, it's based on my understanding. I try to do something. Sometimes it's not possible. So I seek shelter of devotees. I'll associate with the devotees. A person who is better practice, I actually, even in my, that is why these Bhakti Vrikshas got developed, honestly. And that's why this is created by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Why? Because this is where association comes in place and people exchange their ideas, and then false ego crushes. And then we feel that taste of sattva. It's not that we got into sattva, but we feel the taste of sattva. That means you are getting the higher taste slowly. Then this lower taste will go away. So what my sincere thought was to associate with the others, even if you want to chant together. I used to do that. We used to go and chant in my, many years. At least once in a week, we go and chant, sit with the other devotees and chanting. And even now, we are very grateful to the management here that we are having these classes every day. Think about that. Yeah. So that is what inspiring us. Every day, Nityam Bhagavata Seva is great, but make sure that we have a rapt attention of hearing. Oral reception is not, yes, it is going on somewhere, I am listening. No, it is my experience. I can definitely tell that my Even the hearing process, it has improved a lot past 1 month. Every word of it, it's going to my heart. Even if I read something, it's going to my heart. I don't know what it is. Maharaj's presence, Maharaj's blessings, I don't know. But I can feel that if you give a rapt attention, it's going with respect. That's what, based on the scriptures, with respect, we should do nityam, anudinam, with respect. This is from the Shambhata number 7. I did not go into every detail, but if it is already proved by previous acharyas, we don't have to do another research. Just follow the footsteps in great intensity. We don't have that intensity yet.
Yes.
So we have to develop that intensity by associating with the people who have that intensity. And that way we'll also get an inspiration. And we'll try to follow. And that's the hope. We will get there. We should have patience also. Otherwise, we are passionate. Some people say, hey, why are you so passionate in Krishna consciousness also? I always remember Sumangala Mataji. I'm glorifying, I'm appreciating Mataji. She's so passionate in doing Krishna service. Oh my God, the way she arranges, the way she does, 4,000 people, 5,000 people. Think that. I don't think I have that. So I should be very passionate for Krishna's service, but we are passionate for ourselves and how to satisfy my senses. So we should do that, dovetail that passion to Krishna's service. In that way, you will get the goodness. That's my thought, Mataji.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. And just one quick one, another one. You said there were 4 things on how to become dasa. You said 4 things. So I caught the first 3. I missed the last one. The first one is affection to one spiritual master. Second one, become.
I think I said actually 4, maybe it's 3.
3, okay.
Yeah.
And Pandit and Sadhu, right? Just those 3 I kept.
One is the Susnigdha, which is affection to our spiritual master.
Yeah.
Pandit, which is intelligence on how to serve. And then Sadhu, self-control, or maybe sense control.
Sense control.
We are selfish directed, but we need to dovetail that on Krishna's Samsiddhi Haritoshanam for Krishna's satisfaction.
Thank you, Prabhu, so much. Hare Krishna.
Anybody's suggestion? Hare Krishna. Anybody else? Everybody's silent.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you very much. This is Sri Kishore Das. Please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you very much for such a balanced, thought-provoking talk, actually. I was just thinking about this becoming dasa. In the beginning days of our Krishna consciousness, it was very
Your
easy.
sound, the volume is so low. I'm not able to hear you.
Is it audible, Prabhu, now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying that in the initial days of bhakti, it was always very easy to consider ourselves in the position of dasa. We keep seeing so many devotees around who are practicing for so many years, but as we progress, somehow I feel that in my heart I lack that feeling of being a dasa. More as I remember the words of my spiritual master. He said in one of the lectures that in the beginning you are dasa, and after sometimes you are Prabhu, and after some time you are competing with Mahaprabhu, and that is how you fall down, he says. So this tendency is quite visible in my heart, Prabhu. Any suggestions, any thoughts on this?
You're speaking about me, Prabhu. Thank you. So, yes, everybody when they come to ISKCON, so humble, we'll first of all we'll understand how to be humble, and then we'll practice that humility initially, and then it's very nice. And after that, what happens is we will get some responsibilities in serving. When we get some responsibilities, guess what? There is a package. Pride also we develop. Pratishtha. So because of that pride, slowly what happens is we will, that dasa nature goes away. And then we'll say, I am already this. And that person is also this. Yes, yeah, both are serving Krishna. But why he is telling that to me? That means, see that we are thinking that ego is gone, but we are developing something else, which is so many other things. The bhakti is growing, but also weeds also growing, right? So how we need to make sure that weeds are plucked and thrown away. Otherwise, that comes all the way. And then we lose that humility is gone. Pride develops. So when the pride develops, humility is gone. So make sure that humility is up and pride is down. Maharaj explained in one of the lectures, the pride and humility, especially with the pastime of Indra, right? So this is where we develop slowly. I have this position. I am a commander. I'm a Bhakti Riksha preacher. I have so many teams. I have this and that. Guess what? You don't have that humility. We can see, oh, he looks like that. Oh my God, he's such a nice person. He's such a great person. But he's down to earth. How many people can see down to earth? We all, that's why that, I was thinking about this shirt. There is no collar, which is good for a devotional dress. If you have a collar, guess what? Hey, come on, man, it is me. And that's why that made this devotional dress without collar. So that's the pride. The moment you get the pride, you're gone. And that's why we got to be very careful in plucking out all this anarthas, especially the pride. And that way we can even at the stage, in the progressing stage, even in the last stage, no matter what, you will get there. Anyway, this is my 1 cent, 2 cents of explanation, Prabhu. Maybe you may have better thoughts.
No, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Hari Bol, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Balaram Prasad Prabhu, Sri Vallabhadasya. Please accept
Hare
my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I completely understand, people on the call don't want to leave you, but at the same time has to go on and the responsibilities do kick in. So I'm going to keep it very brief. I completely and thoroughly enjoyed your class. Fabulous class. Thank you so much, Prabhu. And I'd like to just build on what you said. I don't want to repeat myself, and I don't want to also repeat the nectarian realizations from Premananda Mataji as well. I mean, it's all coming from your hearts. So we're extremely grateful and thankful to both of you for that. Also, just wanted to quickly, mention to Mataji's, question about how do I get there? Not Premananda Mataji, but the question was around what is the process, and you so nicely described. I also would add to that, what comes to my mind is just recently in Rompad Maharaj's lectures, he was talking about, one needs to have commitment. One needs to have a goal. Without a goal, we cannot get anywhere. This is a journey that we're all on, and that journey can take us many years. For some people, very quickly, but for most of us, it's it takes lifetimes. So we need to have a commitment. Otherwise, we're going to get, waylaid very easily, because Maya is so strong. And who are we? We're, tiny, minuscule, infinitesimal fractions, right? So we cannot really sustain this. We should be able to sustain our journeys. To sustain our journey, we need to have a commitment. And that starts with a goal, right? So when you say we should be following the footsteps of our previous acharyas, absolutely. I mean, that is the path. That's how we need to do it. But without our commitment, again, we will fall by the wayside. So that's something that we need. I look at myself, and I say, what? I have all of the good intentions, at least some of the time, maybe not most of the time. And I want to be on this path. What is it that's really preventing me from, getting there? And I questioned myself several times during the day itself. I get caught up in all of the various activities, especially at work, and horrible bosses and corporations, and living in this corporate world for so many years. There's a lot of conditioning that happens. So I'm like, I want to break out of this. And I listened to, I had the pleasure of not only working for Amrish Prabhu, who's the great grandson of Ford himself, but I even saw his interview that you shared, and thank you again for that beautiful, webinar. You see the humility, you not just see the humility, you feel the humility. These elevated souls.
Yeah.
Badahari Prabhu and His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, all of the wonderful, wonderful disciples of Srila Prabhupada and Srila Prabhupada himself, right? So it's this humility, and when you see all of this happening, you automatically start getting a sense of, this is where I want to be, and that inspires you. And when that inspiration comes in, your commitment gets stronger and stronger. Right. So just stay on the path. We need to make a commitment. So I realized, so what I was coming to say was, I realized, I don't have that commitment. I need to strengthen my commitment. And absolutely through chanting, through association, through hearing, through Shravanam, Kirtanam, all of these things absolutely build towards that commitment, help us sustain that commitment. I think that is very, very important. And lastly, in my case, Prabhu, I have collars on my status. And as much as I agree with you, the way I look at it is, there's a reason why dogs have collars, Prabhu. And in this case, this dog definitely requires a collar, and that's why I have it.
sorry,
You,
I would have done.
Hare Krishna.
It's just that thought. Thank you, Prabhu. I was really amazed, when I saw the speakers yesterday. As you said, Amrish Prabhu, he's such a great man, personality. The way he spoke was, he was showing himself is nothing. He's nothing in front of anybody. Oh my God. I think I'll share this presentation to everyone probably. That will definitely help us.
Absolutely.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much for your blessings, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Maybe we can stop. It's 8:20, or any last 1 minute. It's left to all the people here, because I don't want to prolong.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
It's all glory to Krishna Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhu, for going over these texts from your own experience and your hearing. Thank you very much for that. Somehow these verses, I'm just sharing an inspiration for myself. Somehow these two verses are very, whenever I heard it for the first time, it really made a deep impact. Narada Muni's pastime itself is like that, and especially these two verses. It really shows the potency of sadhana bhakti and serving the devotees, beginning mainly with spiritual master, meaning even the service as hearing from spiritual master and all our spiritual masters, Srila Prabhupada. And so just by hearing and then he was really trying to stick to the instruction that they gave for chanting and taking time out for chanting, like for us, 2 hours a day minimum. That's what we are always told. If we say 16 rounds, we are repeatedly asked again in the initiation, not just 16, minimum of 16.
Minimum.
So it is like at least baseline is given for us, and then the same way Narada Muni was given a baseline, and then he proceeded and just chanted. This is all sadhana bhakti, and we don't probably see in each and every verse how did his anatta nivritti go through, how he was, it's not like a long description, but definitely all those stages was crossed in one sense. Because he did go through all these forests with valleys and hills and beautiful gardens, and then like all kinds of emotions were around him actually. fear, astonishment, and attraction, everything was around him, but he kept it and just went for his, whatever was told for him to do. And by doing that, I mean, we can only, I mean, I don't know what to, I can only imagine that he saw Krishna in his heart. First thing, he got darshan of his, Lord. And then he heard also. I mean, one thing is to see, but the second thing is to Krishna to come and talk, and he comes and talks to him. And then even whatever he talked is a different story, but Krishna spoke, even though he spoke, okay, you won't see me again in this lifetime, but that's an assurance you will see me in the next.
Yeah.
Only for one lifetime, and that too in this body, specifically he's in this body, So for us also, we can't go back to the spiritual world in this body. We have to have a next body, and that next body is what is like, that benediction was given, that you are coming back to me, but not right now, and some more purification needs to happen. It's such a guidance directly given, and it's an impetus. Once you hear somebody who is attracting you, then you want to see them, you want to be with them, and like that. So Krishna showed that glimpse, and then going on forward, I guess it just thrills me how that experience would be, to even, it's inconceivable, of course, I can't wrap it in my mind, but how much the body should. And yesterday Badahari Prabhu was saying how each of the limbs of the body was separately enlivened for Narada Muni. It's like, that's what is prema bhakti, it just pervades.
Yeah.
But this whole thing started with sadhana and hearing from spiritual master very intently, and just being around that sound vibration. So that's inspiring for me, Prabhu. It again reminds me of Gopakumar also, who kept that one part of his life going no matter where he went. The instruction of spiritual master, I don't know, this is really inspiring. I have to contemplate on what it is on my plate. What is it I want to. One thing is inspiration, the other thing is practically taking it. But I'm also depending that this inspiration will manifest. Krishna's mercy will flow, spiritual master's mercy will flow. So yeah, I'm just sharing, Prabhu. This is
Thank you.
amazing words.
The
Thank
moment
you,
when you're saying, then something came to my thoughts. Looking at the reflection, yesterday I was looking at the lake. I was going for a walk, and I saw the sunlight so bright, and then I could see the reflection in the pond, the sunlight. Then I was thinking, wow, if somebody comes and do a fishing, I saw somebody came and do a fishing, then that ripples, because of the ripples, I'm not able to see the sun. So I was thinking, this is wavering mind, ripples mind. So because of the mode of passion, we cannot see the sunlight. So I was thinking, after reading this, I was relating that, wow, if we have that mode of passion that ripples, we cannot see the sun in that reflection. So how do we get there is like a practice and practice and practice. Regulation. That is with the regulation. In that way, we can see the sun as a reflection. We cannot see the sun directly. Seeing Krishna is not easy, but at least see the reflection, and then we can see Krishna. I thought like that. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? I think we can stop. If anybody inspired to, I can even go on for one more experience, but I don't know, it is too late. I can share my experience. If you don't want to be in the call, you can log off. But if you want to be on the call, if you want to, you're inspired, then I'll share my experience of how this happened, because I want practicing. As I said, preaching means sharing your experience. Preaching means practicing whatever you did and what's your sharing of experience. That's really, it's inspired me, how it came to me, my God, it's, I never told anybody, but I thought maybe share if you're all okay. Otherwise, we'll log maybe next time.
Yes,
Fine with me.
Prabhu, please share. Yes.
Go for
Yeah.
it, Prabhu.
Okay.
Please share, Prabhu.
initially, when I was in, this is my experience. Of course, everybody has their own experience, but this is really touching my heart. When, if you remember Jayapatak Maharaj, he does this Shiksha program, like, Shraddhavan, Sevak, Sadak, Prabhupada Ashraya, something. Okay, so when I was regularly going to, the way I got attracted to ISKCON was by a person who came to our industry, and he gave for the life membership. He came and we went there. I started going to the center, the ISKCON every Sunday. I had very much attracted in the Kirtan, and somehow rather we supplied, as an industry, we supplied a steam boiler to the ISKCON for the cooking, and I was maintaining it every other week. I used to go there, and then I got very close to so many devotees, including president, secretary, everyone. And then somehow Maharaj came one day, and then he said they were conducting this Siksha program. I said, what is it? There's a Siksha. Again, Maharaj is also, he was giving beats. It was not an initiation, but Maharaj was giving beats. Oh, you're chanting 1 round, take this. You're chanting 4 rounds, take this. This is what they were doing. So Maharaj gave that beat to me, who is Jayapatak Maharaj. Then I was sincerely, practice. See, initially, we don't know, but Maharaj's blessings. Everybody says Maharaj's blessings, very, very important. Make sure that you don't lose the beats, etc. In couple weeks' time, Mataji, Prabhu says, what happened was, I was supposed to, it was a new temple at the time. I think it's a new temple or what time. I don't remember. So I was supposed to go to the restroom. So what I did is, nobody was there to hand over me beads, keep somewhere. So there was one table. I kept the beads on the table, my bead bag, and went to the restroom and came back. The bead bag is disappeared. Oh my God, what happened to me? I was really hankering. I asked each and every one of the devotee, where is my mala? Where is my mala? Went around several times in the temple because it's a huge building. Went around everywhere. I could not find anything, not even a tinge of it. He told me, because there are so many people come for prasadam, during this is after the prasadam. After, I want to go and wash my hands to the restroom. And then I came back, there is no bead bag. I was really astonished. What shall I do? My heart is broken because Maharaj gave this bead. How can I lose this? Hankering. And then whenever next day morning, when I get the bead, I don't have the bead. What shall I do? Then buy another bead, but I don't have that taste. Because hankering was, where is my bead? Where is my beads? After 2 weeks, I went to, that means after 2 weeks, Sunday program, one of my seniors, he called me and he said, I went there to serve. Hey, I went for the prasadam, but he said, hey, Balaram, Bhagwan, that time my name was Bhagwan. Hey, come here. Yes, Prabhu. Go and get the leaves, that serving leaves for prasadam. I said, where is it? It's in that particular room. Go get it. Guess what? I went there to the room, and there were so many, so many bundles of that leaves. And then I was thinking, because it was all not arranged properly, I took one bundle, and then I was arranging those beads. Arranging those a little bit. They said, hey, this is all just arrange properly before you bring. I said, okay. Then I arranged it one behind the other. There was so many leaves bundles. When I was moving my the leaves, that bundle of the leaves, guess what? It's basically the plates of leaves, right? I don't know what to say that. So when I moving that one bundle after another, I saw a bag. Behind that, it was my bag. I was in tears. I don't know how come this bead bag can go in behind some other, in the kitchen, in the storeroom. How can my bead bag go there? I was in tears. So, this hankering, everybody has their own. I was thinking whenever I saw this, whenever I heard this verse of Narada, yes, Krishna also gave me that a little bit of experience. What does this mean? I was hankering for that bits. And where, I don't know, where is it coming from? Who can take that beat and keep it there? And that too, after 2 weeks, next Sunday program, I got that beats. That same beats. I was so happy. And that was first experience. And then I take the same beats. I was traveling from Bangalore to Kurnool on the way in the bus. One is first stops is Penugonda, another one is Dharmavaram and then Penugonda. And it was in the night, taking a Hyderabad bus on the way. So I slept in the night, and then I was, it already crossed the Dharmavaram station, the bus station, and then I didn't even know. I slept. Then I got a dream saying, your suitcase, somebody has taken it out. I said, what? It's a dream, who cares? I just slept. Then Penugonda, when the Penugonda bus station, they stopped and they said, somebody came, and actually a cop came. Cop came and asked, hey, did anybody lose your suitcases? Can you check? Then everybody, I was looking at the cabin, and then I got up. My suitcase is not there. How did this happen? I got a dream that my suitcase is gone. I went for 1 day travel. In that suitcase, I had, initially, as a devotee, you will carry small books of Srila Prabhupada, my chanting mala. So these were 2 things in there. And nothing else was there in that small bag. Another suitcase, actually, both were there. And this small briefcase, that is what I kept, because I don't want to mix my clothes or anything along with this. So I had only, bead bag and also this thing. And they said, yes, I lost my bag. Then he said, come down. I said, what shall I do at this? In the night, middle of the night, 2 o'clock in the morning, almost 1:30, 2 o'clock. I came down, and guess there was one small temple. Basically, if you go to India, every street has a kind of a temple. I just got down, I saw a Krishna temple right there. Then I was thinking, what? Wow. And then I went all the way. The cop took me to his police station. And then the person was sitting in the police station. He was an elderly person. By mistake, because my suitcase, briefcase, and his briefcase were next to each other, in the night, he could not find out. It seems he took it, and then say, oh, you know what? This is somebody else's. So he went to the cop and he complained, and the cop came all the way. And, I was gone. I went there. And he was sitting there, and we exchanged I did not take his briefcase, but cop took everybody's, and then he took another briefcase from the cabin, and then he said, oh, this might be the briefcase. He gave to the old man, and that briefcase was given to me. What was there in it? My chanting mala and the books. Guess what? This increased my faith in ISKCON Krishna consciousness. And that is why I am even here today. There are so many things happens every day, but I don't share. These 2 experiences initially, guess, I can never forget in my life. So everybody has that experience. And that too, when a pure devotee hands over something, don't take it literally or easily, or don't take it granted. No, it's a gift from Krishna. It's my heart touching. I never, ever past 25 years, I never expressed to anybody. This is the first time I'm expressing this is why it might be an inspiration to others. I'm thinking in that way. So please, I'm not boasting myself that this happened, but I'm sharing my experience that, Krishna is there in everyone's heart. Krishna is taking everybody's hand. Sorry, is there. Krishna will take care of us. Sorry. Thank you. I'll stop here.
Thank you for your honest sharing, Prabhuji. It was very inspiring for all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
Oh, I think we'll stop.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
No, thank you, Prabhuji. It was a wonderful, class, as well as thank you for sharing your experiences. It will definitely inspire me.
Thank you. Haribol. I think we'll stop, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Vancha kalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patita nama pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta koti vaishnava